Hi, welcome to another episode of A Prom Days Kitchen Abroad. Today we're going to show you how to cook salmon inununan, which is also known as salmon paksiw up north. Now paksiw is basically a recipe which involves vinegar and spices on it. What we need for it is bay leaf, black peppercorns, a bit of black pepper, which I've already showed you on how to store your dried spice, recycling your sauces, some chopped garlic, and some ginger. Now we're going to be braising the salmon, meaning we're going to sear it in high heat and let it cook on the juices that we're going to make. Now I'm sure a lot of you have peeled your ginger before using a knife or a peeler, and it is a bit hard, but I'm going to show you an easier way on how to do it in peeling your ginger. You don't need any knives or a peeler, you just need your spoon. I've showed this to a friend of mine before whom I work in the kitchen, and he really had a hard time peeling the ginger using his knife, so I showed him this easy way, which I learned from Chef Jean Gonzalez from my school in Center for Asian Culinary Studies. Now all you have to do is just to scrape it, to take off its skin. That way, if you're using a knife, there's a chance for you to get cut by it, or even a peeler. But with a spoon, you don't have to be afraid. There's your ginger. I'm just gonna peel and then cut one more. Aside from the dried ingredients for the inununan, we're going to be using 3 vinegars. 3 different vinegars, which I'll show you later. Normally, this would be cooked using sardines back home, but it's hard to come by, or galunggongan, but it's hard to come by these fishes here in Canada or abroad, and that's why we're using salmon, since it's easily available in your supermarket, like no frills. We buy them, they come in packs already, and they're sliced already. Now you want to chop your ginger into strips. When the fall comes, or when it's salmon fishing, a lot of Filipinos go to the rivers to catch salmon, like the whole fish. And if they don't know, sometimes they butcher it by themselves, and if they don't know how to butcher it, they bring it to a butcher. So they have an entire fish of salmon which lasts them for the whole winter. Right, it's your ginger. And we're gonna add our onions to it. Still gonna cut them on strips, matchstick sizes, or julienne as they would call it. I'm just gonna put it here on the pot. Turn it on. Then we're gonna add our garlic. About 2 tablespoons. Some oil, about 2 tablespoons of the oil. You're just gonna want that to simmer. on high heat. So 3 bay leaves, maybe a tablespoon of black peppercorn. So I'm just cooking for me and my wife. So we're using 2 salmon strips. But before we put that in, you want to get this going first. I'm just going to use a regular cup to measure the vinegar. Now we have 3 vinegars that I'm going to use today. The first one would be cane vinegar. You need about 1/4 a cup of it. You can use apple cider vinegar if you need. If you don't have cane vinegar. And this brand is from UFC, which is from the Philippines. I'm just going to lower down the heat. Add a bit of water. And the next vinegar that we're using is Sukang Pinakurat, which is a famous vinegar back home due to its spiciness and its flavor, which you can also get in Filipino stores. I'm going to add 1/4 cup to it too. I'm just doing an estimate of the 1/4 cups. And lastly, to add that sweet flavor, I'm going to add the balsamic vinegar. Another 1/4 cup to it. Back home, we wouldn't add a balsamic vinegar because it's too expensive, but it's readily available here. I'm just going to put that there and allow that to reduce. Well, that's going to start boiling. I've added 2 tablespoons of oil to this pan, to which we're going to sear our salmon. Now there are some stories that they say that there are some people sometimes who go to the rivers at night and catch the salmon with their bare hands. Which you can, but it's illegal, just to let you know. But some people do it because it's easier to catch them. So that's boiling. Just gonna add more water. Another 1/4 cup. You want to sear the salmon on each side so that it seals in the juiciness and the flavor within. About a minute or 2 minutes on each side. You can actually smell and how the vinegar now. Just give it a bit of taste, whether you need to add more water if it's too sour for you. It's just fine. If it's too sour sometimes, you might want to add a bit of sugar too. While that's cooking, I'm just gonna wash my hands. And we'll be getting our rice, which is the rice that we've heated up yesterday. We cooked. Like I said, the rice will last us for at least 2 to 3 days, my wife and me. About a cup of rice. Cover it with a plate. Heat it up for 2 minutes. Gonna turn this off a bit. I'm gonna add my salmon here. And I'm gonna let that cook for a while. So while that's cooking, you wanna get your kitchen clean, because as I said, when you move into countries like here in Canada or in the States, you start off in small apartments in which you have to manage the space. Otherwise, you'll have a pile up that's pretty big and it will take longer for you to clean after. So I like to get my cleaning done while my food's cooking. You don't want to overcook the salmon, because otherwise it becomes too hard in the inside. So I'm just going to take that off the fire and let it cool down a bit. Again, if you don't like how sour it is, you can add sugar to it. So we have the plate now. Just gonna move this a bit here so we can put the salmon in. Right? And you're also gonna want a bit of the juices that's in here. Normally I'd eat this with rice and just a sauce. And there's a typical Filipino dish, your salmon paksiw or your salmon inuunan.